that they didn't have any children. But life goes on, and every day the old man went out to the forest to chop some firewood, and the old woman went to the river to wash clothes. One day, while the woman was at the river washing clothes, she saw a strange sight bobbing around in the river. It was an enormous peach. She said,
"What a big peach!"
And she forgot about her clothes immediately and stomped out into the middle of the river and grabbed this ginormous peach and took it all the way back home to their village. She plopped it down on the ground, and when the old man came back from chopping firewood, he smelled this delicious peach fragrance, and he saw it, and he took a big sniff of it, and he said,
"Let's cut it open right now."
So he raised his axe above his head and was about to chop it open when suddenly from inside the peach came a tiny little voice, and the tiny little voice said,
"Please, don't cut me."
And the old man was shocked. And the old woman was shocked. And the peach went rolling back and forth until suddenly it exploded. And out jumped, ta-da, a tiny little boy. And the old man was shocked again. And the old woman was shocked again. But they soon got over that because they realized that here was the child they had always wanted. So they gave him a big hug. And they called him Momotaro, which means
Peach boy.
That's right, and every day they fed Momotaro plenty of kibidongo.
Kibidongo makes you strong.
That's right. So the boy did grow to be very big and very strong indeed. And one day when he was almost a man, he was so tired of all those mean, nasty ogres, those onis coming to his village and stealing all the treasure, that he just got fed up, and he said to his parents,
"I am going to Oni Island to fight the Onis and bring back the treasure."
And his parents were very dismayed because how was such a tiny little boy going to defeat these mean, terrible, nasty ogres? But they could not talk him out of it. So they just gave him another hug, and they did the only thing they knew how to do, and that was pack him a tin full of kibidongo.
Kibidongo makes you strong.
And they sent him on his way, and they went back into their house, and they made themselves a big cup of tea and prayed for the doubtful return of their only child. So Momotaro went off. And he was walking, until suddenly from out of nowhere sprang a ferocious band of wild dogs. And they growled and showed him their huge, shiny, scary teeth. And Momotaro got scared, but then he gathered up all his courage and said in his loudest voice,
"Stop! I am going to Oni Island to fight the Onis and bring back the treasure."
And the dogs, they were tired of the Onis coming and stealing all their treasure and all their bones too. So the first dog said,
"The Onis took my parents. Can I come too?"
"I don't like the Onis. Can I come too?"
"I don't like the Onis. They took my parents and they ruined my house. Can I come too?" "I don't like the Onis. I want to destroy them. Can I come too?" "I don't like the Onis. They took my boat, they ruined my doghouse, and they took my friend and my friend's house. Can I come too?"
and Momotaro said, sure. And he fed them all some kibidongo.
Kibidongo makes you strong.
That's right. So the dogs and Momotaro went walking until they walked right into the jungle. And in the middle of the jungle, out of the trees, came swinging and screeching a band of ferocious monkeys. And they were making a lot of noise. And they were scratching and clawing at Momotaro's head and at the dog's head. And Momotaro noticed that their sharp, long claws. But he gathered up his courage and he said in his loudest voice,
I'm going to Oni Island to fight the Onis and bring back the treasure.
And the monkeys were tired of the Onis shenanigans too. So the first monkey said,
They ate my parents. I come to. They destroyed my house and took my parents. Can I come too? I don't like the Onis. Can I come too? I don't like the Onis. Can I come too?
and Momotaro said, sure. And he fed them all some kibidango.
Kibidango makes you strong.
So the monkeys and the dogs and Momotaro continued on their journey. And they went walking, until out of a rice field flapped some ferocious, terrifying pheasants. And they had long, sharp, pointy beaks, and they were about to poke out Momotaro's eye until he said,
Stop! I'm going to Oni Island to fight the Onis and bring back the treasure.
And the pheasants were tired of the Onis coming and stealing all their treasure too. So the first pheasant said,
I don't like the Onis. They took all my family's treasure. Can I come too? I don't like the Onis. They ruined my nest and steal my food. Can I come too? I want my bag. I don't like the Onis. Can I come too? I don't like the Onis. Can I come too? Can I come too?
and Momotaro said, of course you can. And he fed them all some kibidango.
Kibidango makes you strong.
So the pheasants, the monkeys, the dogs, and Momotaro continued on their journey, and they went walking, until finally they came to the ocean. And they jumped into a gigantic boat, and then Momotaro was at the helm, and they went sailing, until finally, off in the distance, they spotted Oni Island. So on Oni Island lived a band of ferocious Onis, and they snorted, and they roared, and they stomped around, and they sang a ferocious, evil, wicked song, and it went like this.
Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, sing, bang, wada, wada, bing, bang. Ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ah, sing, wada, wada, bing, bang.
And they spotted off in the distance a boat, and on that boat was a boy, a bunch of wild dogs, a band of ferocious pheasants, and a group of crazy monkeys. And they noticed that they're all eating plenty of kibidango.
Kibidango makes you strong.
Right, so the Onis, they noticed they all looked really big and really strong, and they started shaking in their boots, and they got really, really scared. And the first Oni said,
Run out.
and the second Oni said,
Why prick me in the eye? Oh no, you might boggle my brain. Oh, I'm scared. Mom, can I have some help? I said, Mom!
and they all ran away as fast as they could. They got out of there. So when Momotaro and his ferocious band of soldiers arrived on the island, they noticed there was no treasure to be found. No Onis to be found. Thank you. There were plenty of treasure, so they gathered up all the treasure that they could, and they put it back on the boat. And then, after they loaded up their boat with the treasure, they went sailing again, sailing back to the village. Sailing, until finally they arrived back at the village. And when they got there, they unloaded all the treasure. And guess who was waiting for Momotaro back at the farm? The old man and the old woman. And they're so happy to see him return, and they're so happy that all the treasure got returned, that night they had a banquet. And at the banquet, they served kibidango.